Renovating for Profit and Equity, July 2017, presented by Julie Anglesey.
Okay, hi everyone. Thanks for coming to listen to my presentation. I'm Julie Anglesey from Renovating Made Easy, and I help time-poor investors to renovate for profit by cosmetically creating beautiful homes for people to live in. So, let's just see what happens next. Here we go. That's me. Okay, so I'm an optimist. I see opportunities and possibilities in lots of different places, and I love to go into tired, neglected, trashed houses and see and uncover the magic that's inside. If you like before and after photos, I've got a few to share with you tonight. And I have a new favourite researching tool, which I'm also going to share with you and hopefully give you a bit of insight into how to find your target market in a suburb that you're looking at investing in. And at the end, I'll connect with you or show you ways of connecting with me if you want. So I'm not a presenter. I'm more comfortable having an informal chat with people. So in this presentation, let's just turn it into more of a conversation. If you've got questions, just ask and just interact with me so that I don't feel so alone up the front here. My disclaimer is that this presentation shows examples of what I've done. I'm not a licensed financial consultant, so always seek expert advice and do your own due diligence. So a little bit about me. Perth has been my home since I was 5 years old, and I lived in Trigg, grew up in Trigg, and was educated at St Mary's in Leederville. These days it's called Arranmore College. So I learnt to love the beach and the ocean at a very young age, and I learnt discipline and a good strong work ethic through my Catholic school upbringing. Everyone has a why, something that drives them and inspires them to do what they do. And for me, it's my family, my 3 beautiful children and my grandson. And being an integral part of their lives is what inspires me to do what I do. Once I finished my schooling, I couldn't wait to break the shackles of the Catholic school. I went travelling around Australia and Europe for the next 6 years. So whilst that fueled my passion for travel, it also showed me a lot of different places that people call home, and made me fall in love with a lot of different styles of house. So, whoop. Okay, sorry. This is the first time I've ever used one of these, so this is cool. So, I love this little 1890s cottage that I lived in Melbourne, and Queenslander that I lived in the heart of Cairns. But the more interesting of the places I lived during that time was a prawn trawler in the Gulf of Carpentaria, where I worked and lived for 5 months. We renovated the inside of the boat and painted it all different colours and did a collage and did all sorts of crazy stuff. We thought it looked awesome, but then again it was the 80s. And anyway, it's probably just as well the prawn trawler ended up being wrecked in a cyclone, but that's another story. Then I went to, when I lived in England, Victorian terraces were all the go, but I fell in love with the whitewashed houses on the Greek islands. And through all this travel, I found a lot of different and unusual places to live, but the most freeing place that I actually did live was when I travelled around Australia for a year with my husband and 3 kids and lived in a tent. To have no clutter and just the wide open spaces of Australia was just bliss to me. So if you've ever done something like that, you probably might relate. Everyone has mentors. These are a few of mine. You will have your own mentors. Hi, Jenny. And you may recognise some of mine as well. So after getting my property education, I gave myself analysis paralysis by analysing half the suburbs in Perth, and what I needed to do was actually take action. So I made the powerful decision actually of looking for a diamond in my own backyard. I lived in Secret Harbour, so I chose a house in Secret Harbour for my first flip. The objective was to make it appealing and to make it profitable. So the challenge was to make sure that we didn't overspend. It was tempting to want to, change the Federation green colours at the front, but I knew that it wouldn't really make a difference to the end sale price, so held off on that. What we did do instead was to just freshen up the landscaping and put some new window dressings on the front, and that was enough just to make the house look fresher. We knew our target market was families, so having an unkempt backyard with bushes up against the windows wasn't going to appeal to families, so we just got rid of all these nondescript bushes and planted some lawn so that families looking at this house could see a clean slate for their children's play equipment or a swimming pool. Families don't like a messy alfresco area, they want to sit out there and relax, so we had to clean that up as well. As you can see, we haven't really spent a lot of money, we just cleaned it all up. So the bathroom with the green Federation tiles again looked old-fashioned with the taps and handles, but there was no money in the budget really for redoing the whole bathroom. So what we did instead was put in new taps, new handles, a white blind on the window and some modern accessories, and for less than $500 the bathroom looked modernised and the green tiles didn't even look so bad. We put a new basin in. Yep. The kitchen is the heart of the home. This one didn't have a lot of life in it. But once again, we didn't have the budget to replace the whole kitchen. So so far we had put some new laminate flooring from the front door through the kitchen to the family room area, but we still needed to get rid of this peach and green colour scheme. So what we ended up doing was just resurfacing everything. We resurfaced the cupboards and the bench. We put in some new appliances and put in a stainless steel splashback, and that just made the kitchen give it some life back. Is it what, sorry?
Is it permanent thing?
Permanent? Yes. We actually hired somebody, like a resurfacing company, to come in and do it. It was marine grade resurfacing. It had a warranty and all that kind of stuff. But it still worked out a lot cheaper than actually replacing everything.
What is the resurfacing? Is it like repaint?
Yeah, it's a paint. It's a really hard... Yep. It's marine grade paint. So this is what the numbers look like on this one. They've gone a bit skew-if, but the purchase price was $360,000 and the renovation was $18,000. We ended up selling this house before we even had it. We hadn't finished renovating it before we advertised it in the market. We had a buyer. So for 4 weeks from taking over the property to selling it again, and the profit was $36,500. So when you look at that as a percentage of the purchase price, it's 10% of the purchase price. But if you look at it as a return on cash, it was 36% return on cash. But that was all done in a 1 month period. That wasn't in a year. So to us, that was a great profit. And for our very first renovation, we're pretty happy. So if we had decided to keep that property though, we would have had instant equity of $64,500 from doing an $18,000 renovation. And when we look at the renovation, when we look at the increased value, which was $82,500 from doing an $18,000 renovation, that equates to $4.60 return for every renovation dollar spent. On that one we did. I was with my husband and he ripped up all the tiles and did the laminate flooring himself. He said he'd never do that again, so he didn't. But yeah, we did manage to keep the cost down because of that too.
What is the benchmark considered to be good return on every dollar?
$2.
$2.
Yep.
How long ago was this?
That was 5 years ago.
Yep. How did you come up with the budget for renovation?
I knew that...
10%?
No. I based it on we needed to be able to sell... Well, I knew that the sale price in that suburb wouldn't go over $450,000 for a house in that location. So we had to keep our budget down in order to make a profit and sell for $445 to $450. And if we'd spent more, we wouldn't have got more. Yep.
Actually, How much percentage of equity was in the deal?
There was, we had 20% cash and 80% borrowing. Is that what you're looking at? Is that your question? Yep. And then obviously then there's stamp duty and there's the renovation costs. So based on all of the cash that we had to put in, it was a 36% return on cash.
So then I suppose the holding costs, the finance costs was just...
That was all cash. That was all calculated in the cash figure.
Right. Only over the 4 weeks.
Yep.
You sold them for
Yep. Yep. So I want to show you this one as an example of employing creative strategies to create a win-win as well as a profit. So this was a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house in Greenfields, which is Mandurah. So if you're looking to do a flip, would you be thinking that Mandurah was a good place to do it?
I have a question about the previous.
Yes?
How did you sell in 4 weeks' time? You have to settle that?
It was settled on the 23rd of February and we started the renovation on that day. And 3 weeks into the renovation, an agent came to us and said, I've heard about this property and I have a buyer. And he brought the buyer to us. We gave him 48 hours to sell it and they put in the offer and we accepted it. And so on the 23rd of March, it was all signed, sealed and delivered. So 4 weeks after we settled on the property, it was under contract again. It was renovated.
At what stage, if you're after purchasing and you know you're doing a reno, it's going to be 4 weeks, 6 weeks. At what stage do you think it's safe to start advertising if you didn't have a potential client?
I would wait till the whole project is finished and I would get staging furniture in so it's presented at its very best and then you've got the best chance of selling it. Normally that's what you would do. Yep.
There were no capital gains costs
Yep. No, there's no tax included in that figure. So depending on how you structure your purchase is depending on how much tax you pay. So we bought that in our own name and we just paid income tax, which is capital gains tax. Yep.
How much was the resurfacing cost as an estimate?
We also got the laundry done as well and I think it came to about $5,000. Yep.
So it was full kitchen and laundry as well?
Yep. So the laundry floor and the laundry trough. Yep. All the kitchen cupboards and the bench top.
So when you say floor, the tile?
Tiled floor. Yep. Yep. So this one here was, it was actually going to be repossessed by the bank. The homeowner he was about to lose the property, and if the bank had taken it over, he would have had to walk away still with his debts and no house. So we partnered with a joint venture partner who understood the legal process of taking over this house through power of attorney. So we took it over and we gave the homeowner $20,000, which allowed him to walk away from the property debt-free and have enough money to pay off his fines and his outstanding other credit card debts and have enough money to start a new life. So we took over this property and spent 3 weeks renovating it. So once again, it was just a quick cosmetic renovation. We changed all the flooring, we painted and we put new window dressings on, and that was all we did. So this was the lounge room before, and that was it after, with a new floor, painted walls and a new blind on the window. The dining room, it was a very dark house obviously, it was a bit grubby. So with the new flooring, that's all we did. We didn't spend too much money. The master bedroom wasn't very appealing. In fact, it had 3 built-in wardrobe doors. Every single door in the house had a hole from punches being thrown. So afterwards, it actually looked appealing and clean and quite inviting. Child's bedroom. You wouldn't really want your child living in there. But afterwards, it looked like a cosy little room for a child. And Once again, we didn't want to spend money on getting a new kitchen, so we resurfaced. We actually resurfaced the cupboards and bench in the kitchen, all of the bathroom, and the laundry. So that's what it looked like afterwards, with the laminate floor, resurfaced cupboards and bench, and a new oven. And that's all that was done there. So that was it. And the bathroom, we resurfaced it and put a new shower screen on and just made it look beautiful compared to what it was before. So the numbers on this one, because we didn't buy it, we got an agent in to appraise it for us when we took over the property. So the appraisal came in at $220,000 and we spent $25,000 renovating it and we sold it for $320,000. So once again, it was a 4-week time frame and the increase in value was $100,000, but our actual profit was $100,000 in that deal. So it was a really good deal. So when you look at it as a $25,000 spent for a $100,000 increase in value, that equates to $4 return for every renovation dollar spent. So that was also a really good outcome. That was 5 years ago. But yes, I was just going to say these sorts of deals you can still do, definitely. Yeah.
So is this sort of like an option deal where you've taken control of the property, there's no transfer of value?
That's right. Yep.
And you've renovated it?
Yep.
So does that profit include the 20 grand you paid the guy?
Yep, that's all taken into consideration. So we paid out a lot. We had to pay out mortgage arrears, council arrears. In fact, like the renovation on the house was $25,000, but we actually spent $60,000 all up. Yep.
And you took that out of the appraised value?
Yep. Yeah, no, the appraised value was 220, but so basically we spent 60,000 and we sold it for 320. We had holding costs also. Just trying to remember what else, but after everything was taken out, the profit was 100,000.
So you covered the mortgage while you
Yes.
were renovating?
Yep.
How did you manage to pick up the property?
So we partnered with some people that specialised in finding properties like this, and so we split the profit with them, so we got $50,000 each. And that was the deal that we came up with. You bring us the property, we'll do the renovation, and we're both happy with that. Yep.
So the sale price was in the former owner's?
It was still in the former owner's name, but there was this legal document that he had no say in this property anymore. So yeah, so it was all for us. Yep. So I don't actually understand the legals. That's why I got someone else to. That's why I partnered with someone else that did understand the legals.
These profit, these amounts you're talking about, profit, these are all before capital gains.
That's right.
So then when you end of financial year,
Yes.
you have to factor that into your tax.
That's right. So you'll say, my income was 100,000, so I pay this much tax, depending on whether I'm a company or whether I'm a person or.
This is your job as part of your income then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But if you had a job as an income, I'm not a financial advisor, but this would also go on top of your income.
Yeah, correct.
Yep. Yep. So you pay tax accordingly. Yep. So we were going on really well. We found our winning formula and we're on the right track, but nothing stays the same forever. And what happened to me was my husband of 25 years left me, and although it wasn't completely unexpected, it was still a shock. So, as I said at the beginning though, I am an optimist, and whilst I was overwhelmed at being on my own and had a grieving heart, I could also see the silver lining. I was actually free to create whatever I wanted to create, and for me that was renovating for profit. So if I couldn't do it on my own, I would find property investors to partner with so that I could create win-win for them and for me. So this is a couple of projects that I've done this year as joint ventures with property investors. So the first one is one in Secret Harbour, which is a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. And the second one is one in Hilton, which is a 1953 cottage, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. So if you were to choose one of these as a flip, which one would you be thinking would be the better one? Secret Harbour is 60 k's from the CBD, Hilton's 14 k's and 5 k's from Fremantle. Hilton? Yep. Why?
Proximity, close to Freo, which is a desirable area. Going to buy, you want to buy in close to, in desirable area or close to desirable area. I presume the public transport is better in Hilton. Different
Cool.
demographics.
Yep. All right. So let's have a look in. Sorry? Yeah, it could do, couldn't it? So let's have a look. So this is the one in Secret Harbour. It was actually repossessed by the bank, and there were no windows. It was graffitied, and there was a lot of paint splattered everywhere. So we were able to, my investment partner bought this at the bank auction, and we set about renovating it. There was a lot of work to be done. It was a bargain, definitely, for the suburb, but there was a lot that needed to be done. So now it's got new windows and a new garage door. Inside, we replaced all of, we put new carpet in all of the rooms, but we did keep the original tiles from the front door through to the main living areas. So this was the lounge room before, and that's what it looked like after the renovation. Ended up looking like a beautiful family home. The master bedroom looked like a black cave, but afterwards it looked like a luxurious suite. Looked much bigger as well. It was much bigger. The kitchen, the heart of the home, this one absolutely had no life in it whatsoever. But afterwards I was happy to move in there. I wanted that kitchen. It was big. What's that? No, I got a new kitchen in this one. There was nothing that we could save, and everything smelt, and didn't know what was going on there, so we replaced it. This was the family room next to the kitchen, and afterwards it was just all part of the beautiful hub of the home. Before and after.
New carpet.
New carpet, yes. That was actually carpet there. It looks like concrete floor, but anyway. The alfresco before, and afterwards, nice clean slate for whatever people want to do with it. So let's have a look at the numbers on this one. We purchased it for $257,000, and the renovation was $89,000, and the end sale price was $409,000, which was a profit of $38,650. Whilst we were going through the sale process on this one, the APRA lending laws were coming into effect, and people were finding it harder to borrow and all that kind of stuff. So it took longer to get an offer than we had originally anticipated. Then at the last minute, the offer fell over, and all they needed to borrow was $30,000. So it had to go back on the market. The holding costs were longer, and in the end, $38,000 was still a decent profit given the market and what was going on.
When was that?
That was April. April was the first offer.
Of this year?
Yep. 22nd of April was my birthday, and we got the offer, and I was so excited, and then a few weeks later I wasn't excited because it fell over. But anyway, but if you looked at this as a property that you wanted to hold, oh sorry, Jeremy.
Your renovation cost there, a general rule of thumb around 10% of
Yeah.
the end sale.
Yep.
Replacement.
Yes.
How do you work that out when you're going into a project category?
So I worked backwards from my end sale price. So I figured that the end sale price would be, I think it was about $415, and so obviously we got this house. You know, you wouldn't buy a house, a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house in Secret Harbour for $257,000. So we got it low because it needed so much done. It almost needed rebuilding, needed new windows, new air conditioning, needed everything new. So yeah, I just work backwards from what I can get from my end sale price, and if there's still profit in it, then that's what I work with.
So you did the free zone before you and your JD partner purchased it?
Yes, definitely. Yep.
What's your expected return on profit you target for you to jump in? 10, 15, 20% return on cost?
Yeah, so return on cost is probably a minimum of 10 to 15%. But really, I look at it, how I calculated this one was, I was happy with 30,000 and he was happy with 30,000. So I calculated a profit of 70,000, which it didn't end up being because of quite a few different issues that happened, but there was still profit in there. So we agreed on a price that we were happy with for the profit, so that's how we came about that. I knew what the end sale price would be and I worked backwards. So that's how I calculated it.
So from your 70 to 38, was that mainly due to renovation costs?
Which one, sir?
Well, so you mentioned that you originally planned on 30,000 draw.
Oh, yes,
so you
yes.
planned on 70,000 profit?
Yep.
But you got 38. So
Yep.
the blowout was Reno costs?
Yep, Reno costs was a blowout for sure. We ended up putting in a new laundry and bathroom, which wasn't in the original plan. And we needed a new aircon, which I thought we could just upgrade, and we couldn't. And then the extended holding costs as well. Yeah, so there's quite a few issues. But
Was it you can avoid next time?
definitely, yeah. Or otherwise I would just factor in a much bigger contingency when it's such a trashed house.
It would be possible to get those things checked out properly.
Yeah, there was some stuff we couldn't, yeah, and also buying it at bank auction, well, yeah, you'd need to pay for a building inspector first, but you can't write that into the contract when you buy at the auction. You buy it as is.
What would your holding costs actually not that very, not high, what would you expect the holding cost?
I can't remember.
So how long did you hold it for? What was your actual compared plan holding time?
So it probably we held it for probably 2 months longer than I anticipated. Yep.
How long did it take to hold?
The renovation took 8 weeks.
So the total project was 4 months, was it?
Yep. Yes. Yes.
And I'm sorry, you may have mentioned it earlier, but this was done this year?
Yeah, this year. Yep.
And did you manage the building inspection before the auction?
We didn't actually get a builder to come in, but the people that were buying the property, my joint venture partners, went in and they did their own thorough inspection, and they were satisfied that they knew what was going on.
Was many bidders on the auction?
Yes, there was a lot. Yes, but we knew 257 was actually our walk-away price. So if it went higher than that, we would have walked away. But he ended up getting it. Yep.
And that property looked like it was professionally staged?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
So those, I didn't see that as a line item, but is that part of the selling costs that you had?
Yeah, it's part of the. I just put it in the renovation cost actually.
Okay.
Yep. So.
Do you remember how much that cost?
Yeah, it's around about $3,000 a month.
Okay.
Yep. And that's for the whole house. And it's beautiful furniture too. Sorry?
It's better than renting a house. You return on
Yeah.
providing, cupboards,
Yes.
TV, lamps.
Yeah.
Is that a real estate agent that you regularly work with? That agent fee seems quite low.
Oh, yeah, I negotiated very low. Yes.
What percentage, what commission did you pay for?
I'm not going to say that.
Okay,
Yeah. You can figure it out, but yeah.
okay.
It was a deal that we came up with. Okay, so if we were to hold on to that property though, the instant equity, if we would have just bought the property, done a renovation, we would have had instant equity of 63,000, which is not bad in a property that you want to hold on to. So this is the second property that I did this year, the Hilton one. So it was a 1953 asbestos cottage. What happened was it was part of a larger subdivision, and the house was sold as on the smaller block, and we decided that we would just buy that and renovate it and flip it. So when the offer was accepted, the agent told us that the titles would be issued in 6 weeks, and so we believed that. And the mistake was we didn't write it into the contract. So that's a big lesson for me, which I'll share with everyone, is anything that you want that is discussed that is going to be vital to your project, get it written into the contract. So what happened was though, the titles were issued 10 months after we had the offer accepted, and the property market in Hilton went down quite a bit over that time. So this was this year. So the offer was accepted in March last year, and the titles weren't issued until the end of January this year.
What happened that caused
No one's taking any responsibility. It is what it is.
So what have you done with the funky renovation? Have you just cleaned up the roof tiles and repanelled the front of the houses?
Yeah, repanels, so taken all the asbestos off. Yes, and
No, you have to do that.
no, could have easily just painted it.
Yeah.
But being in Hilton, we would have lost 50% of our buyers if there's asbestos there. It depends what area you're in, really. So we decided that we would go the full hog and get rid of it all.
And what you say, the roof tiles, they just cleaned the new roof tiles?
But yeah, so they were cleaned and painted, the roof tiles. So there's still the original old roof tiles on there.
What's the approximate cost of repaneling? Like per square metre?
I don't know per square metre, but this one came to about 15,000 for the whole house, which I thought was pretty good. Yep.
What was the cost to...
Is this a full-time job?
For me? Yeah.
Were you working as well?
Oh no, full time on this one. Yes.
How do you get finance for that?
Oh, sorry, I've got a joint venture partner. I did this with a joint venture partner. So she works full time and she doesn't have time. So I'm the project manager, and so she's the one that financed it. Yeah.
Julie, do you remember what the cost was for cleaning and painting the roof?
Yes, I do. It's more than I wanted. Originally, my plan was to just clean the roof tiles. I wasn't going to paint it. I just thought the old red would add a bit of character. However, when we cleaned the roof tiles, all the paint came off. So it just was just white and terrible.
Was that concrete?
Yes. Well, they must have, yeah. Anyway, so we ended up having to get it painted. All up was about $4,000 after we had to get it painted as well. So anyway, inside still had all the original carpets and wallpapers, so we've just polished up the Jarrah floorboards and painted. So just, left the character there but just made it look more modern. That was the master bedroom with the retro carpet, and the polished floorboards just made it look beautiful. The kitchen, the heart of the home, wasn't very appealing. So afterwards, with the polished floorboards, we put in a brand new kitchen with stone bench tops, paint, and it just looked amazing at the end. I wanted to move in there as well. However, with this one, my joint venture partner needed it to sell quickly, and with what was going on in the market now, it didn't sell in the time that she needed it to be, which was very quick. So she's now added it to her property portfolio and rented it, and she's got a nice solid investment property there. So I don't have any numbers to share with you on that one, but yeah, just goes to show the one in Secret Harbour probably worked out a bit better.
Is there maybe a comparison between what it could have rented for prior to the renovation versus what's being rented for?
Oh yeah, so you probably would have got $200 a week or something for it prior. It was pretty bad.
What was the, I have two questions. Did you bother insulating the house when you repanelled it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And what was the tenant like that you put into it?
Good professional couple.
Okay.
Yep.
So not family? Or three?
No, they were a couple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So your JV partner decided to keep this and rent that out.
Yes.
How did that work out for you?
So then we came up with an agreement for me to get paid a project management fee. because I'd done all that work on it. Yep.
And when you sell a property that has asbestos in it, are you bound by law to actually disclose?
Probably. I'd say so. Yep. Yep.
No. So I don't think you are.
If there are, then...
Correct. If you ask, you have to.
Yes,
But
yeah.
You're not, that's my understanding.
Oh, yes.
I suppose one thing is you could have saved more money had you just kept the asbestos on and just clad the whole property on.
Could have, except that buyers in this particular, like we'd done our homework, we knew that buyers in that particular suburb knew that there was a lot of asbestos in the suburb and it mattered to them, and they would ask that question.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas last year I did one in Medina, just painted it. It was asbestos, nobody cared. Yeah.
The clientele does matter.
Yes.
Do you know what firstly the uplift in rent was?
Yeah, it would have been at least $250 a week, I would say.
From 200?
Yep.
And did your client, has she refinanced it or?
That would be for her to answer. Yeah. I don't know what she's doing there. Yep. Okay.
Is there a discount if you sell that after a year for capital gains? Is that right?
Yeah, so yeah, definitely. 12 after 12 months, it's 50%. Yep.
But you've got to live in it. It's got to be a PPR in order to be exempt from.
Oh, yeah, but not being exempt, you still have to pay capital gains tax after 12 months of owning it, but it's only 50%. You only pay it on 50% of the profit. Yep.
Also, if you hold it from elsewhere, you're saying if you hold it for more than a year
Yes.
and then sell it,
Yes.
you only tax on 50%.
Yes, of the profit, of the capital gain,
Right.
as opposed to 100%. Yep. Yep.
But if you're living in it, would that be considered as your income?
That's right. If you're living in it, then it's capital gains free. Yep. So the lesson one for that one was write all contingencies into your contract. Lesson two, always have a plan B and a plan C too, and know as much about your target market as you can.
What
So,
do you mean by that? Lesson 3. What do you...
oh, sorry, yeah. Okay, I threw that one in because the next thing that I want to show you is how to how to identify exactly who your target market is in any suburb. So we all know it's a buyer's market, but as Jeremy shared a bit earlier, maybe that's changing and that's a good thing. But I just want to quickly show you this. When you choose a strategy, how do you know if your project will make a profit and who are you actually going to sell your end property to? So the quickest way that you can find this is through the latest census data that the government's just released for us. Has anyone looked at the census data at all? Yep. So do you go to Quick Stats and study it? Okay, so it's not maybe something I'm teaching you, but does anyone not know about it? Yeah. Okay, so what you do is you Google 2016 Census Quick Stats and it brings you up with a page like this, and then if you're looking in a suburb to either do a renovation or a development or whatever sort of investment you want to do, you go to here to the search box and put in your suburb. Comes up with a overall summary of your suburb, but the great thing about the information is it tells you all about the people in the suburb and the types of dwellings that they live in. So let's just compare here a couple of suburbs. We've got Secret Harbour, where you can see that there's a much higher percentage of children and middle-aged type residents in Secret Harbour than there are in the rest of WA and Australia in comparison. So young children, we've got 10% and 9.8% in Secret Harbour and only 6% in WA. So straight away we can see that the population of Secret Harbour is predominantly families and school-aged children. In comparison, we've got Cannington here, where the larger majority of the population are between 25 and 34 or 39. So there's a big percentage, 16.1% compared to 7.5. So once again, straight away we can see that there's probably not families with children in this suburb. It's more likely to be single, 20, 30-year-olds. So ancestry is another thing that we can see from the census data, And in Secret Harbour, we can see that large percentage, 20% were born in England compared to 7.8% in the rest of WA. And in Cannington, we can see that people born in Australia is only 30% compared to 60% in the rest of WA. So we've got a larger percentage of people born overseas in Cannington, and we can see where they're from here as well. India, 14.6%. So we've got a lot of Asian immigrants. So we can also look at religion and language spoken at home. So in Secret Harbour, it just backs it up. It's Anglican, so it's an English suburb, and 90% of people speak English at home. But compared to Cannington, where we've got 12% Islam, and the language spoken at home is Mandarin and Punjabi. So we can see now the ages of the people, the types of countries they come from, and possibly, you know, the sorts of, we just know a lot more about their background. But the other thing that we also need to know is what sort of houses do they live in, so that we can create these houses for our target market. So in Secret Harbour, we've got 98% of separate houses in Secret Harbour compared to 79% in the rest of WA. And they're 4 or more bedrooms. 87% of those are 4 bedrooms or more. So people in Secret Harbour come from a background from England, their families, they've got school-aged children, and they live in 4-bedroom houses. Whereas in Cannington, we have a much lower percentage of separate houses, but a much higher percentage of townhouses. And these townhouses, 60% of them 3 bedrooms. So if we're wanting to create a product in Cannington, it's probably not going to be the 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house like we would in Secret Harbour. It's probably going to be a 3-bedroom townhouse. So just straight away, within, I don't know, 15 minutes, we can just see exactly who our target market is and what sort of house they want to live in. So I just...
How long would you trust this information? This is 60, you know, just...
That's right, yeah. So...
Like in 2-3 years you would already rely on it?
Probably, yeah. It's great now. And then who knows, in 2 years' time, you probably wouldn't...
Last year's data showing.
Well, this is...
Extrapolate between the 2,000.
Oh, you can definitely go in there and have a look.
Last year the census data would be 3 years old.
So it was taken last year, so it's already a year old, is that what you're saying?
The 2012 census. If you look at the data on the census last
Yes.
year, it'd be the 2012 census.
That's right, the 2011 census.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it would be a number of years old.
yes.
You could extrapolate between the 2.
Yeah, and compare. Definitely, most definitely. There's so much that you can do in here. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you that this is a great tool, you know, if that's what you're looking for.
How do you know that the people will be looking for asbestos in that?
Talking to the agent. So there's a lot of things that you need to do, obviously, when you're doing your due diligence. Like, this is a great place to start, but then you really want to be talking to real estate agents who are selling in the area, and they will be telling you. Also, they'll either be confirming that or they'll tell you something extra. So that's how we found out in Hilton about the asbestos. The estate agents told us and said, no, people are always asking and we need to tell them. Yep. Okay, so let's just finish off with some more pretty pictures after some census data. So what if we've got a property that we already own that we want to sell? So I'll just show you this example of one where the owner of this property was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom Tuscan townhouse in a complex in Sorrento, opposite Secret Harbour, the Sorrento Lifesaving Club, and he needed to sell it for $1 million. However, the appraisal came in at $840,000. So he came to me and said, help, what can I do? So I basically just consulted, told him what he needed to do, and that's what he did. So the inside of it was they'd really taken the Tuscan theme all the way through. It was the terracotta suede effect walls, there was terracotta tiles, but all I told him to do was to paint, and that's how the lounge room ended up looking afterwards. and some new flooring, some bamboo flooring. So it had the terracotta, it had the beautiful big feature diamond things, and yeah, they just really went overboard with this one. So the kitchen area, once again, was the terracotta suede with new paint and new flooring and staging furniture. It made it look so much more appealing. The master bedroom upstairs had a gorgeous little balcony overlooking the ocean, but you couldn't really notice it because the room was so dark. So by making it light, bright, with some nice Hamptons furniture, suddenly saw the view through the window again. So the numbers on this one were, the pre-renovation appraisal was $840,000. The renovation cost was $25,000, and he managed to sell it for $1,060,000. So the increase in value for his $25,000 spend was $220,000. So that's an $8.80 return for every renovation dollar spent. So he was pretty happy.